विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् Welcome all of you in this family camp. And we'll be studying a part of a text called Aparokshanubhuti. In fact, we have started last year, so many verses have already gone. But I will definitely give you certain background. What does this title called Aparokshanubhuti means? What is the subject matter? What is its relevance to the life? There are many things in the world. And we find that we study one thing, we don't study other things. It doesn't make big difference in our life. How much person can study? The whole life, even though one can pass as a student, it should be like that. Yet you find that many areas, like I don't know music. Well, I may not be able to appreciate something, that's fine. But my sustenance has no relevance to knowing everything. Is this the case with this subject matter of Vedanta? Perhaps not. If you miss this, definitely you are missing something which is infinite. So this is Aparokshanubhuti is a text of Vedanta. There are three basic, that is the first basic text called Upanishad, which we call Vedanta, because it appears at the end portion of the Veda. Not that it is something culmination of knowledge. Upanishad is not culmination of knowledge, it's just at the end portion. Position-wise, in a Veda, in a given Veda, it is at the end portion, generally. It's a part of, Upanishads are part of Prasthanatrayam. Prasthanam means a path as such. But here we will take it as a basic text, basic source of self-knowledge, called Upanishad. It's called Shruti Prasthanam. And then there is another Prasthanam, another text. Shruti Prasthanam, well, who is the source? Who is the source of this knowledge? We don't find any Purusha, any human being. Na Purusha Buddhi Janyam, Apaurusheyam. for which you don't find a source. A human being has given this knowledge to another human being. No. The nature of the subject matter is such which is not available for human perception, inference, etc. And therefore, human being who has seen Atma or something, self, and has given knowledge to this, no. So since the source is not known, well, ultimately one source is there for all the knowledge, and that is Ishvara. And therefore, this Upanishad are revelation of Ishvara ultimately, through Vedas. Revelation, all the Vedas are revelation of Ishvara, so this also. But another prasthanam, another text of Vedanta, which appears in the middle of Mahabharata. Of course, since the Mahabharata itself is composed by Vyasacharya ji, so this prasthanam Bhagavad Gita is also well revealed by Vyasacharya ji, based on the basic text Shruti, based on Upanishad. We call it as a Smriti Prasthanam because it has a basis in Shruti. And third thing also, third Prasthanam, very basic text for Vedanta is again by Vyasacharya ji. And that is Brahma Sutra, Nyaya Prasthanam. Why it's called Nyaya? Because the subject matter of the Upanishad is presented in a logical format. Many times, Upanishad generally do not dwell in reasoning of this, the nature of self, etc. But here, in Brahma Sutra, Vyasacharya ji has dealt very logically with reasoning. Of course, basis, of course, is Upanishad. But one may feel that Upanishad has a very contradictory things to say, etc. It appears sometime. But there is no contradiction. A means of knowledge, this means of knowledge of knowing oneself, cannot have a contradiction. But then how to resolve contradiction? So therefore Vyasacharya ji presents a reasoning that, look, this is to be understood like this, and therefore there is no logical fallacy. Brahma Sutra begins with first sutra where the name Brahman, the self, appears. In 555 sutras, the first sutra mentions the word Brahman, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Later all the sutras pertaining to the same Brahman. Like in Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Yoga Sutras also you may find the first sutra has a word, yoga, not later. Yogastu Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Then all other sutras talk about saying yoga. Here also, all other sutras, the 554 sutras talk about Brahman. First sutra mentioned the word Brahman. Very beautiful, Brahma Sutra. And on all these three prasthanams, all these three basic texts of Vedanta, there are several commentaries because otherwise very difficult to understand. The principal commentary is a commentary of a Shankaracharya ji, Adi Shankaracharya. There were other commentators before also, which Shankaracharya ji mentioned sometime in his commentary called Bhashyam. And then there are later commentators also. Many acharyas were there. We call sub-commentaries and then sub-commentaries. And, it's a vast subject matter. Any one prasthanam you take, any one basic text you take, like Brahma Sutra you take, may take several years to study along with the commentary. Several years. Therefore, some of the acharyas, including even Shankaracharya ji, thought that we should have some independent text which can give a gist of the entire subject matter of the Vedanta. You know, Vivek Chudamani, you know Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, all these texts are there which give you a gist of whole Vedanta Shastra. And there are many other texts also, Aparokshanubhuti also. So this is one type of text, independent text composed by Acharya, Shankaracharya ji, Sureshwaracharya ji, Vidyaranya Swami ji, and many more. Need not be in Sanskritam, need not be. Even in Hindi, very beautiful. Vicharasagaram by Sadhu Nishchal Das ji, Hindi. Vritti Prabhakaram, very beautiful text, which presents the subject matter of the Upanishad, Vedanta, in a logical manner, raising certain doubts and resolving. Hindi, again, that is in Hindi. So whatever is in Sanskritam is all. And so this is a one type of text, independent composition, we call prakranas. This is one type. Then another type of text, prakranas, which highlights a certain portion of the Vedanta, not everything, and elaborately discuss that. You know, the subject matter of the Vedanta is you are Brahman, Tat Tvam. That is the equation, Asi. Because you are. So it's an equation. So some text will highlight the Tat part. Tat means that. That means Ishvara. Ishvara means, well, then there is a creation. He is creator. And how is the creation? What is the relationship between creator and creation? Or he is a material cause, and he is this, and he is maker. So several things discussed. Ultimately to prove that that Tat is ultimately Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Satchidananda, etc., etc. So highlighting that part is the whole text, Prakrana. Or highlighting the other part of equation, Tvam, you. Now you are that. So independently this is, Jiva. You means Jiva, individual. Now analysis of individual. Well, there are three bodies. What are these three bodies? Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. How this same Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma appears as a Jiva? That is ignorance. There is that. What is the relationship between this Atma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and this body? What is the relationship? All highlight. There is another type of text. Aparokshanubhuti falls in that. Highlighting Tvam. Not any talk about Ishvara, creation, this. Same. You can go through, you find the same thing, but not. So Tvam pada, the word Tvam and its meaning, real meaning, first initial meaning, an individual, and then analysis of that individual further reveals, oh, I am also the same Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, which Ishvara, Swarupa, etc., etc. All that is there. This Aparokshanubhuti is composed by Adi Shankaracharya, and it has 144 verses. Before I go into that, what are the various sections, because some of the section has already gone, I have to give you that gist, but that I will do little later. Independently, what the first question is, what is the subject matter of this text, or a subject matter of Vedanta, same thing. The subject matter is this. This is a sentence which connects the subject matter to you immediately. What is that? Well, you are what you want to be. That's it. You are Brahman when I say you may not be interested. Yeah. But when I say you are what you want to be, then you may feel, yes, what is it that I want to be? Everyone wants to be something, to become something. One wants to be an engineer. Then that's not enough. That's not enough. Then one wants to marry. One wants to have a job. One wants to marry. One wants to become a married person. Then one wants to become a father, mother, this, continuously. The very urge to become comes from your own perception about yourself. And that perception is, I am insignificant being. That's it. One who is insignificant, feeling insignificant, definitely wants to become. By becoming, one has a notion, actually, that I will become significant person. One never becomes insignificant. I am insignificant, I want to become insignificant. That's not the case. So you want to become a significant being. Now, such a person may, because of the association because of certain punyas in one's account, may come to Vedanta. And now Vedanta says you are limitless consciousness, etc., Brahman. Now you want to become limitless consciousness, Brahman. But the subject matter is you are. That's it. You are. Not you will be. If you study, you will be. No. And it makes sense. Whatever one becomes, one remains limited being. Cannot be limitless. Whatever you do. Whatever you do. Either physically you become more stronger, intellectually certain accomplishments, emotional, this, that, whatever you do, you add something. Still it will be a limited being. Puja Swamiji called it as a snowballing effect. You know, certain times in a small avalanche, the snow starts falling and becomes round and round. As it coming down, becomes bigger. However bigger it is, still it is limited. A limited being plus you add something by becoming will be a limited being. And then that is why it continues. Because ultimately after becoming something, one finds that one is still insignificant. And Jiva being anadi, there is no beginning. Therefore, infinite number of births we may have taken, right? I might have become an ant. I might have become everything. Everything is possible. I must have become a frog. Passing through all the lives and becoming that, still same fellow, same issue. Then what is solution? No one likes to be insignificant. No one likes to be pointed also that you are insignificant. You just cannot stand. Either physical insignificance, mental, intellectual, in terms of your sensory perception, etc. If somebody shows limitation, insignificance, you will not like. Vedanta subject matter is you are limitless conscious. So you are most significant. We have to see that. You are the most significant in the creation. Everything else in this creation is insignificant compared to you. If that's a reality, because it's an equation reveals a reality. If the verb is of a future tense, you will be, perhaps I may not believe. Then I may not believe. Upanishad may talk. So what? But you are. Well, then I take myself to be insignificant. Upanishad says you are significant. Upanishad is a valid means of knowledge. It has a validity what it says. And in that case, perhaps this insignificance centered on I may be a mistake. Then Upanishad says, well, we will give you further evidence also. Yeah, your own experience reveal, even though here and there, your experience reveals you are free from insignificance. Yeah, you may not be able to pick up who that individual is. Who is that? Who is become free from insignificance? You are not able to pay attention to, because you have not analyzed that experience properly. And therefore, well, in the moment of joy, even in a deep sleep state, there is no insignificance centered on I. In a moment of joy, there is no insignificance one is feeling. If one is having a sense of insignificance, smallness, then one will not be happy. So at least in a moment of joy, I must be dropping that sense of insignificance. So what I say, Upanishad says, well, has a certain backing of your own experiences. But then why should I feel insignificance and all? Yes, that's a question. That's a question to be answered. All this is answered in Aparokshanubhuti. Therefore, here it is not, the life is, this is our living, actually. Before exposure to Vedanta, the living of a person is to become something. To become. Coming to Vedanta, now the living of the person is being something. Big difference. Becoming to being. I am already that. Perhaps I have disowned that. I have to own up. Self-disowning is an issue. Self-owning up, the nature of self being not, knowing it clearly is a solution. And in order to know this, you take help of two things. One, the means of knowledge, and one who wields the means of knowledge, the words of Shastra, in order to give you this clear understanding, called teacher. Both these things are required. And when teacher gives the teaching in terms of words of Upanishad, but builds a context and gives a proper meaning. And you understand it, which we call Shravanam. This is Shravanam. And once you start understanding this, you find there are people in the world who do not describe, very intelligent people, do not describe the self, do not reveal the nature of self as is told by this teacher of Vedanta. They say something else about the self. Many people are there. Many other philosophers, thinkers, they have their darshanas. So you resolve all these doubts, which has been there perhaps in your mind, pertaining to the nature of self, and you understand very now clearly, your knowledge has become very clear. what this teacher of Vedanta has said, that I am of this nature, I am limitless Brahman, etc. Even after clarity of knowledge, by listening and resolving doubts, mananam, after doing shravanam, mananam, still you find, as you walk out of the class, and wearing the chappal, you feel saying, I am there. You feel so? Everyone feels. There is nothing to be ashamed of. It is like this. There is a reason for that. So there is something which is left over, which is an obstacle before I own up this thing. And that's called nididhyasana. Once you gain a clarity, you sit with yourself quietly in order to assimilate this. Make yourself free from the error. It's an error for you now. What? I am this body, etc. I am an individual, insignificant, conscious being. You become free from that. It's called nididhyasana, contemplation. So this is regarding the subject matter of Vedanta. I am the most significant being in the world. Everything is insignificant. Now the title, Aparokshanubhuti. Anubhuti here doesn't mean anubhava, experience. Here anubhuti means knowledge. Knowledge of what? Aparoksha. Aparokshasya anubhuti, aparokshanubhuti. Knowledge of something which is aparoksha. What is that aparoksha? We have to see that. You see now, when you see me sitting here, please pay attention. When you see me sitting here, you can say that the Swami is. You cannot say that without a means of knowledge called eyes. So your eyes are the means of knowledge, and using your means of knowledge, you see me sitting here. I can say the same thing like this, that the Swami becomes evident to me. When I am saying, I can say Swami becomes evident to you. So, my becoming evident to you is through a means of knowledge. You are seeing me. Therefore, Swami is. You hear me. Therefore, you say Swami is. Perhaps you may touch me. You say Swami is. Right? Other means of knowledge. I am not going through taste, etc. Okay? But so this is through the means of knowledge which you employ. This Swami who is sitting here is evident to you. The existence of Swami here is evident to you. So these five means are, these five senses are our means of knowledge, and through them we come to know that an object exists. In our example, Swami, an object exists. That object could be having a form, color, could be a smell, could be a sound, anything. So we would have no way of knowing that there is a world without our senses. Could you follow what I'm saying? We don't have any other way of proving the existence other than the senses. In deep sleep state, these senses resolve. They do not function. And therefore, there is no evidence of the world. I cannot prove the existence of the world in deep sleep state because all the senses do not function. So there is no evidence of the world existing in a deep sleep state. So in order to appreciate anything, form, color, sound, etc., well, you have to directly either see, hear, taste, touch, etc. You have to employ the means of knowledge called senses in order to prove the existence of that object, respective object. So either with the bare senses or with instruments added, attached to the senses, we come to know certain objects. Like a microbe. You say, Swamiji, I don't see. Definitely, you employ a scope, microscope. You attach an instrument to your eyes. Well, you don't see a certain asteroid. You use a telescope. But still, all these objects are objects of your direct perception. Senses or instruments attached to the senses. And thereby you prove the existence of that object. Asteroid is, you are telling me. I said, how do you know? Well, I have seen. Oh, you have seen through eyes? No, 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 no. I have seen through telescope. Telescope doesn't see. You see through telescope. So the existence of an object is proven. You definitely employ means of knowledge. These are all objects of direct perception. We can call those objects as pratyaksha. And without senses also, we come to know certain things directly. You need not have to use senses or the instruments attached. Still we sense few things and its existence directly. And this we call it as a witness perception. I can give example. Time. Time you don't see because there is no color of the time. There is no particular smell of the time. There is no particular sound of the time. There is no particular kind of a touch of the time. Therefore, senses are useless. If senses are useless, and definitely now attach objects to the senses will not definitely work. One cannot use telescope to see the time. Or one cannot see, Swamiji, time is very subtle. One cannot use microscope. All instruments attached will work. Only your senses should work. So this is a certain, time is an object which is not definitely in which you don't use your senses or instruments attached to that. Still time is directly sensed by everyone. Right? We call it as a witness perception. First is a sensory perception. You are seeing me, directly knowing me, directly seeing me. Direct perception, sensory perception. There is another type of object where the senses or the instruments won't work. Yet, you are able to know that time is. So that is a witness perception we call. Witness means the knower. Who knows what? Who knows the time? How? A concept. A concept in your mind. Hunger. You don't see. If hunger is available for seeing, then hunger should have a certain form and color. No. Hunger has no particular sound, even though when you are hungry there may be a particular sound. But that's the sound of your stomach. Hunger doesn't have a sound. Thirst doesn't have a sound. But if I say, well, not available for senses, not available for the instruments attached to the senses, etc., therefore there is no hunger. You say, Swami, you are crazy. Hunger is directly perceived. Directly perception. It's called witness perception. Witness means the knower, who is knowing through the mind. Hunger is felt. If you are sleeping, even though you are hungry, you will not, because the mind is resolved. So definitely mind is required. Mind also is an instrument of knowing, not senses here, but mind. So, while hunger, thirst, etc. also is a object of a witness perception. It's a direct, but a witness perception. First is a sensory, I have told you. This is also pratyaksha. They call it as a sakshi pratyaksha. The knower of the mind directly perceives. Emotions. No emotion can be perceived through the eyes. No one can see the anger. No one can hear the anger. You may hear words in anger, that's a different thing. You cannot hear the anger as such. So, our own emotions are also directly perceived. Could you follow? It is happening in the mind, and as a knower, you see that. So, there are no senses involved. This is witness perception. If I ask you, what are you thinking? You say, I am thinking so and so. So, all your thoughts are perceived by you. So, as a knower, as a witness, well, you can see what is going on in your mind. This is also a form of perception, witness perception, without senses. It is not an extrasensory perception, because senses are not involved. Therefore, you say, well, hunger is an extrasensory perception. It's not extrasensory. You see an aura behind my head, that is extrasensory perception. This is not extrasensory perception. This is called witness perception. So you are a witness and see what is happening in your mind directly. So these are the objects. All pratyaksha, either witness, either through senses. A part of the world you know like this. This is a method. There is yet another method to know the existence of the world. This is a direct method to know the existence, but there is an indirect method also of knowing the existence of the world. You are sitting in your room, and it's afternoon, and it's a very muggy day. Sunlight also is there, and suddenly you find the sunlight has gone. The clouds have come. You're not seeing clouds, but you could infer that there is no sunlight now. It has become semi-darkness kind of a thing. So clouds are there. Not only that, you feel that there is a cool wind coming through the windows. That's a perception. Touch. From there, you employ a method to prove the existence of something. Rain. Right? There's a cool wind also, cloudy, cool wind. Perhaps there is rain somewhere. Or there will be rain here after some time. Either way. So, you prove the existence of the world, part of the world, not employing senses, not employing your mind. Here directly, witness perception, but employing, taking help of mind, but not directly knowing the existence of a given thing indirectly. You have not seen rain. Perhaps you may see it later. But still, without seeing the rain, you know the existence of the rain. That's what I mean. Which is we call as a Aparokshanubhuti. The first one was a pratyaksha jnanam, either sakshi pratyaksham or a indriya pratyaksham. Now this is a Aparoksha jnanam, existence of the rain, etc. Existence of myself in this room without entering and contacting through your eyes, you can prove. Just seeing my shoes. Oh, Swami is there in this hall. Or you see, well, somebody, you told your friend that you will be attending a camp, and he also said, well, I will be coming. And still you have not met in the premises. But you come to know that this particular car is there. Yeah. Oh, he has already arrived. You have not seen him, still you know the existence of the person in the premises by the car. Car is a perception. But through car, what is connected to that car, the person, you are able to know. So that is how Swami is right now is not inference. Clip is, well, it's also not inference, it is directly perceived. But the rain, etc., which I said, is infer. And you can definitely go outside and check. Certain, well, some inferences you can check up, but some inferences, well, you cannot. Many inferences are arrived by indirect knowledge. So a thing is acknowledged to be existent because either directly I see it with my senses or without senses, or I infer or presume. All doctors, nobody sees disease. Nobody sees. But they are very confident this particular disease is there. That's how. Perceptual data. Either blood work, this, certain other symptoms which is perceived by the doctor. Some fever, this, that, pain. He says, the person says and he agrees to that. So based on certain perceptual data, doctor presume that this person has so and so disease. The disease is existent in the person through this inference, more than one step. All scientists infer. Or our planes land and, take off. Well, through the pramana called inference, presumption, etc. So this is how the world is known, through varieties of the means of knowledge. I could divide now into two, either pratyaksha or paroksha. What is left is now aparoksha. Anyway, now some of the questions. Do you have a body or not? What are you asking? What question are you asking? We are not here for these silly questions, answer to silly questions. Do you have a body or not? I know I have a body, I am sitting here, I know. Perhaps I have a back pain, all that also I know. Right? So the physical body, not the world. World was evident through your senses, body, etc. But now we are coming to this. Well, the world was evident to you through direct perception, senses, without senses, through inference, everything. You proved existence. But do you have a body or not? Well, you say, Swamiji, my body is evident to me. The body exists, my physical body exists, is evident to me. Naturally. Do you have eyes? What are you asking? You say, what are you asking? Yes, you say. How do you know you have eyes? Just because I see you. So, my eyes are able to see you, proves eyes exist. Means, well, existence of my eyes, which is seeing you, is evident to me. Do you have ears? Yeah? Because I hear you. My eyes are able to hear you. Your eyes are able to hear, is it evident or not to you? Yes, it is evident to me. When there is some issue with the ears, not able to hear properly, you definitely go to a doctor. Going to doctor doesn't say anything first. He says, what is the problem? You narrate. You narrate you narrate the condition of the sense organs to him. Because the condition of the sense organ is evident to you. Then only you can narrate. If it is not known to you, you cannot narrate. So the body is evident to you. The senses are evident to you. Then the question is, if I hold this in my hand, and if I ask you a question, are you thinking of this clip? You say yes. How do you know? Well, because this clip I am able to see in my mind. Therefore, there is clip thought. Means I am thinking of the clip. So the clip thought is there, is evident to you. Your mind is thinking of a given thing. I am showing this. A given thing is evident to you. What you are thinking is evident to you. Therefore, not just physical, please understand, like the world is evident to you through direct perception, pratyaksha, through indirect, etc., and you prove the existence. Same way, the body also is evident to you. Existence of body is evident to you. The mind, existence of mind is evident to you. Existence of senses is evident to you. Existence of memory is evident to you. Memory is evident to you. That's how we say, I am losing memory. What should I eat, Swami? Swami may say something about it. So it's evident to you. You talk about your memory also. Nowadays, Swamiji, I am losing, etc., etc., we say. I have started eating so-and-so particular thing. And now my memory has, I think I have regained everything. So that is evident to you. Your emotions are evident to you. Then, well, your knowledge is evident to you about a given subject matter, is quite evident. That's how we try to improve the areas of that particular subject matter where I'm not knowing anything. What I don't know also is evident to me. Right? That's how you say, I have ignorance of the Russian language. So you are not just is knowledge, but ignorance also is evident to you. You know what you know and you know what you don't know also. So everything, the physical body, the senses, the mind, emotions, memory, and ignorance, knowledge, everything is evident to I. Wow. The whole world, through the means of knowledge, or here, the world is evident to me through senses, through direct perception, through inference. Body is evident to me. Mind is evident to me. Senses are evident to me. Knowledge is evident to me. Ignorance is evident to me. Who is this I to whom everything is evident? Whether that I to whom everything is evident, that I, does it exist or not? Should I have to prove that? Just think. Should I have to prove the existence of I to whom everything becomes evident? If that I is not there, then to whom everything has become evident? Could you follow what I'm saying? Okay, you say I am, I exist. Okay, which means of knowledge you have employed to prove the existence of I? Because generally, well, you say clip is because you employ means of knowledge. And thereby clip is evident to you. Fine. Now I am evident and I exist. Which means of knowledge you use? Do you see I? Do you hear I? I am talking about that big I, our big I. In fact, before you see, you are there. Before you hear, you are there. Before you touch, you are there. It's a big thing, very, very big thing. Leading to what you really want to become in your life is lying here. I will say it. Every moment what you want to become The secret of that is lying in this I, the nature of I. Since the world doesn't prove its own existence, world proves its existence to me through means of knowledge, etc. The body proves its existence to me. Body is because I am. Senses, emotions, knowledge, ignorance, everything is evident to this I. And thereby we say everything is. Memory is, emotion is, knowledge is, ignorance is, world is. But what about this I, to whom everything becomes evident? Does that I exist or not? Swami, I exist. I need not have to prove to you. That's what it means. In fact, before you perceive I is, before you see, hear, etc., before you infer, you are. Before you imagine something, you are. Before you think, you are. Right? You are very much there. A thought comes and goes, you say also. Now you come and I will talk to you because a particular anger, thoughts have gone. Now you can talk to me. Or some activity is arriving, that also you know. Yeah, you go away. I'm going to get angry. Whatever is happening in your mind, particular emotion is happening, going, etc. Everything you know. Therefore, even before thinking, you are. I think, therefore I am, has gone now. It has gone by the person who has told Descartes. Not that I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I am, therefore I emote. I am, therefore I perceive. I am, therefore I imagine. I am, therefore I believe. I am, therefore I recollect. Means this perception, inference, all our means of knowledge to prove the existence of the world, they are not required to prove the existence of I. So-called proofs, they are all proofs. Means of knowledge are called proofs. Are not required. Anyway, so my existence does not need any means of knowledge. Nor does it need any evidence. The self to whom everything becomes evident is self-evident. I am self-evident. No evidence, no proof, no means of knowledge proves my existence. Need not prove. Everything is proven, become evident, itself proves I am. And therefore, the self to whom everything becomes evident is self-evident, very important thing. So when I say I am, means or I is, the self is the one to whom everything else becomes evident. I am self-evident. And that opens up something. Very beautiful thing. So I am self-evident. Existence of the self is self-revealing, self-proven. That I is not proven through the pratyaksha, perception, etc., is not proven through the inference indirectly, etc., paroksha. That I, the self, is aparoksha, whose existence is proven itself. I prove my existence. Therefore, I am self-existent. My existence is proven because I am self-revealing, self-proven. I don't require any other proof, any other means of knowledge to prove my existence. So self-revealing, self-existent self is called aparoksha, immediate, which is not directly perceived, not an object, which is not indirectly perceived, which is immediate, whose existence need not be proven. What is self-existent must be of the nature of existence. What is self-revealing must be of the nature of consciousness. So anyway, so space, time, sun, moon, galaxies, all are evident to the self. Even a cell made up of particles also is evident to the self. An assemblage of the particle called body is also evident to the self. Everything is evident to the self. The subtlest thing in the world or the biggest thing, everything is evident to the self. So, this self is self-evident. That's how it is called. I being self-evident, I is called self. I is self-evident, self-existing. Therefore, I is called self. So, two things are there now. One is the entire world, including your thoughts, mind, your emotions, your memory, your ignorance, your knowledge, which comes under the category of evident to someone. And the other is the self, which is self-evident. The whole thing becomes evident, and thereby we say it exists, whole world. And one is self-existing, self-revealing, self-evident self. Two things are there. Right? Combining these two things is called whole. Combining. We generally say subject-object as such. I don't want to go into subject, but this is how it is. The total is called whole. We have to see, can we make this total? Because opposite nature, one is evident, becomes evident, dependent for its existence, right? And one is self-existing, self-evident. And if you say God, God must be whole. God cannot be one of that. Then God will be limited. If you say God is an object, not the subject, the self-evident subject, well, that's not true. That's not correct. No. God is the subject, self-evident, self-existing. Then what about the world? If that is not God, how the God is limitless? Therefore, it looks like I and the God perhaps are really not two things. Clear? We have to see that in detail tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.